Hi everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are going to be reviewing a Plat Zen. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate that. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events we have going on, all of that good stuff.
Hello.
2-1. Attackers incoming.
Is without.
Defend objective A.
Okay, so here we go. Sure. Okay. Harmony on Doom absolutely makes sense. It won't stick, but let it fall and then remove it. Good. Okay. So we've covered this, and I know we've covered this. Oh, that's a bigger rewind than we wanted.
Objective A.
Totally good with that Harmony Orb. I like that we thought about having it out. Now, maybe here, I like this. I like that you were ready to move this Harmony Orb as soon as it fell off, but now I want you to start charging a right click, because charging a right click is unlikely to delay your applying of a Discord Orb, because there's no one on your screen to apply a Discord Orb to, and you're kind of expecting that you're going to have to sort of get here before you can apply a Discord Orb. So this is sort of a start charging as we push up, have our orb. If someone shows up there, we might release our orbs into them and immediately Discord, but otherwise, we're going to go, we're going to peek, we're going to see the Inna, we're immediately going to throw the orbs that we've charged, the 4 or 5 orbs, and we're going to send our Discord Orb following them, hopefully passing them. That's what we're going to do. This right here, okay, what are we doing? Like, this situation has already changed, where we look at this and go, we don't have orbs charged, so I don't necessarily want to peek this, and I just lost someone, which means this is being spammed probably a little too hard. Again, I probably don't want to push this, and I definitely don't want to push this without having stored value in the form of having charged up a 5 orb or a 4 orb or something like this. Like, the risk just isn't worth the reward here, so let's not do it. And now I'm like waiting, deciding the risk is too high, but I'm not investing this time in charging up an orb, and I don't immediately have a Discord Orb on this Mercy either. And if I'm charging up, it's true I can't immediately have a Discord Orb here, but if I'm not charging up, it's like whoosh, Discord. That's what we're looking at. I'm a deer in headlights when my main healer or main tank gets eliminated, because I know it almost always means a lost team fight. It can, but the thing is, quick, it's like if you lose someone, if you can trade back quickly, that can matter. If they get a chance to stabilize and both teams get a chance to regenerate resources, then when the 5 of you are regenerating resources versus the 6 of them, well, yeah, it's more likely to be, it's going to be very, very hard to win as a 5v6. You can, however, hit situations where the 6 people used a lot of resources to get the elimination to knock this down to 5, and you can immediately trade back, because these are a weak 6 versus okay 5, because they still have resources and such, and they can trade back quickly. If they get a chance to stabilize, that's less likely to be true. So you have to make a decision. Can I get out and sort of reset, and is my team going to reset? Well, it doesn't look to me, and I never really thought with your Reinhardt out here and such that your team was likely to reset this. So I'm not saying go feed hard, but be ready to contribute, be ready to look for something, try to trade something back, because it didn't look like your team was willing to back out. You might want to keep yourself in a place where, like, hey, I'm playing around here, playing around this, where if another person on my team goes down and it really is over, I can at least back out and get away and not feed them ult charge. But you can't be like, oh, I'm just going to freeze and then go up here. So I get it. Freezing is hard, but usually freezing is a result of not knowing what the right answer is. So let's just slowly work through getting you the right answers one at a time. Okay. And again, that's a long time with no Discord Orb up and no shots fired in here. Okay.
Repetition is the path to mastery.
I'll capture this objective myself if I have to.
Yes. success.
Okay, so what you got? You got a Harmony Orb on Reinhardt, no problem. Harmony Orb on Reinhardt, no problem. Are you going to use your Reinhardt to rotate? Like, you've sort of already missed the bus. Did you want to use him to help rotate? Because if not, you're going to sort of have to cross this while they're just firing from here, or you're going to have to wait for someone like your Hanzo to pepper them that sort of maybe gives you a little, offensive cover in that sense to get across. So we probably missed our chance here. You're moving the Harmony Orb fine, and you should immediately be thinking about, I want to flick up to the Junkrat. Okay, don't have that opportunity anymore.
Darkness falls.
I don't need to charge. I don't discord into the right-click charge while tracking him. I could discord into the right-click charge while tucking, or I could discord into left clicks and correctly predict that he's going to go this way as a result of getting discorded, because the discord is pressure on him, and he wants to go to safety. So I can be like predictive shot, predictive shot, predictive shot. It's a projectile with travel time, and he goes, ooh, 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 and those hit him in the head, and he gets eliminated. Like, that's possible. Or you could discord orb him and go discord, close angle, charge, 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 open, and then throw my right click over here, bing, 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 and drag it like sort of, well, like more like that, and he gets eliminated type thing. Like, those are what our options were. We're not going to charge our right click while we're staring at him. We're not. Hey, anti-gravity. That right click made more sense, and you got rewarded for it. Kick really isn't necessary, but okay. Okay.
No.
I require healing.
Mercy Batman that sometimes plays Zenbreak. Yep.
In range of the objective.
Again, same thing. We're looking at that and we can go, hey, I'm not gonna charge my right click. If I discord him and he's in the open and he's not looking at me, I immediately want to start following up with left clicks. Because he's not looking at me, he doesn't have a good effective range on me, my left clicks are faster, my left clicks are better damage per second, I'm not surprising him because he's already discorded, I'm going for these left clicks. Diva. Harmony your Diva. Okay, so here's the thing. I get why you harmonied your Hanzo, fine. But your Diva's actually looking for an excuse to push up there. She knows it's her job to try to control this shelf, to try to push these guys out, to try to make them leave. And she'd really appreciate a Harmony Orb while doing that. If you could harmony her, discord him, this is over. This is a 2v1, and he just leaves hard. Even if you, other than that, aren't in the fight. Even if all you do is put those two orbs in the fight. Yeah, YouTube emotes need some work. I don't think anyone disagrees with that. I don't really need to peek that. Like, I get what you want, but do I really want to peek the whole hog? Do I? Do I? Not really. If I just have to let this 5 orb go without getting anything, so be it. But this isn't a 5 orb. This was barely by the skin of its teeth a 4 orb. Again, this happened, sure. Fine. Oh, your Discord orb's back. No reason we can't reapply it up there. Like, oh, look, there's someone up there that we can immediately reapply the Discord orb to. Is this a lost fight that you're backing out of? Absolutely it is. But that doesn't mean we can't just for free apply our Discord orb to this Junkrat to put him under a little bit more pressure. And if he's under a little bit more pressure, he's likely to chase us less hard, which is good. He's also likely to back up more, which is good. And you're also more likely to just get an exit pick. You or Hanzo Hanzo could pretty easily get an exit pick on him as you're leaving. And wouldn't that make your next push easier?
Walk in harmony.
Oh, poor Jumbo.
Mercy on call.
See through the dragon's eyes. My upper
Okay,
above.
so your Diva's not in danger, so move your Harmony Orb. Well, you wanted to move your Harmony Orb to your Hanzo, just because you can cap him off faster and you can get him back in the fight faster. If your Diva was in danger, was in contested space, sure, leave the Harmony Orb on her. But you cap your Hanzo much faster than you cap your Diva, and either one of these people will play more aggressively once they have full health. So let's get our Hanzo to full rather than heal our Diva. It's going to take us forever to get our Diva's health to a place where she can play aggressively. So let's be like, cap you off, then put it back on the Diva.
My upper above.
Well, I can't get you to top 500 by myself. You got to be a big part of that. I'm very good, but I can't gift you motivation. I can't gift you, like this ability to go, okay, I am going to be dedicated in working on this. Then I'm going to work on this. Then I'm going to work on this. Like, thinking actively in some ways.
Be one with the universe.
But we'll absolutely do what we can, and it's going to be pretty good. And you can absolutely swing right as you shoot your shots at this Junkrat. Okay, he's body blocking for you, or was before he was eliminated. Too late.
Tranquility.
All good, you tried to save him. There's not anything on the other team that you're like super interested in countering except that. So, that's all you gave them by transcendencing there.
Never stop fighting.
Yeah, Overwatch is a very complex game, it's true.
Get back in the fight. 10 seconds remaining.
And you just work on little pieces of it at a time to set habits. We can also level up understanding, but working on pieces of it at a time to set the right habits so you can break those complex problems into more simple things that you know the answer to is going to help you. This is not as easy as Zen. But even if this was a Zen, okay, I'm going to play from here. I don't need to go to point. I know, it seems like I need to go to point, but I don't. I have a Diva on point. I can do way more to keep Diva alive on point from here than I can do to stall the point. If I go to point, I'm not going to be able to keep Diva alive because the opponents are going to come after me. I'm so much more valuable, and I keep the overtime clock going longer from back here. I really do.
Watching your back.
Why did you not get the sleep? Like, the sleep needed to be a reaction to the hook.
Watching your back.
All I can figure, no, that's already gone. Hook. You see hook. You sleep. Because you want to make sure your sleep's there in time to actually save whoever gets pulled in before he can shoot them. So you can't hook after you see whether he's... Yeah, I mean, you can, but you don't want to sleep after you've seen whether he's hit someone or not. You want to throw the sleep right now. Plus, he's in the open for you. Giant target, jumping, predictable movement arc. Let's hit that sleep. No, I'm definitely not going here. If I am pushing forward, I'm pushing to here, where I've sort of got cover against those two. I'm not pushing out here into the open. I've got cover against those two. If I want it, I've got cover against the direction they respawn from. I don't have cover against the Junkrat, but this is where I was thinking. There's no way I want to be here, unless I'm pushing to point. But do I need to push to point? Well, let's see. I've still got a Diva on point with most of her health. No, I do not need to push to point. Okay. So we really gotta we have to do more stuff. Like, that is still a big thing for us on Zen. We gotta be like, hey, I'm actually not just getting my Harmony Orb out there, but I'm actually going, hey, can I find a chance to peek and get some left clicks off? Can I find a chance to charge up a right click and throw that up? Like, we're not doing enough. Can I be more active in my orb management to be more like, oh, look, I should heal up this smaller health hero before I heal up this larger health hero. Oh, look, my Diva's diving in. Now is when they should get the Harmony Orb. Like, we can be better on this Harmony Orb management, definitely, and that's kind of low-hanging fruit, but we also need to just do more stuff. We need to press buttons faster, which again, we'll get there as we break down each thing. Harmony Orb can be part of it, and your left versus right clicks can be another part of it. How do I get better at positioning with Zen? Tips? Tuck into corners, walls is the thing Temporal and I talked about with both Zen and Mercy. They're different in where they position Zen and Mercy, but yes, Zen is generally looking to be, hey, if the fight is happening here, here, Zen wants to be able to see the fight, but he wants to have a pretty long sightline on the fight. His projectiles don't have any fall-off damage. His Discord Orb, while not sniper range, is reasonably long range. Same with his Harmony Orb. He wants to be set up in such ways where it's going to take flankers a while to get to him. He's going to potentially see or get warning that those flankers are going down those paths, like these paths, and he's got a good sightline on the fight, and he's not on the point either most of the time. Now, he might be on the point if he knows that the fight has to take place ahead of the point. Like, for example, he might be on the point back here if he knows that the team fight is going to take place here. But as the cart gets closer to here, he might back off and go, no, I'm playing from here. No, I'm playing from here type thing. No, I'm playing from here type thing. So he doesn't want to be on the point where unless the team fight is happening, he doesn't want to be in the middle of the team fight, and you can manipulate the point to deal with that. You want to play relatively far back. You want to be aware of the flanks that people could be going down and sort of have some sight warning, etc., that they would be happening, and then you got to be able to contribute. You're a support. You got to be able to see your teammates to be able to pick where to put your Harmony Orb, to be able to pick where to put your Discord Orb. You want to play back so you've got options most of the time.
Everyone signed their life insurance policies?
Well, you know better than that. You know Mercy's Zen is fine.
1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
One.
Mm-hmm. So, here we go. Let's go to this. Match is starting. You're here. For some reason, you decide you want to be here instead. I can live with it. You've got cover. Don't get too far from your cover. And who's your Harmony Orb on? This is just dead time. Your Harmony Orb should have been on him before he left. If it comes back and you've got no one to put it on, so be it. But it should be out. There's nothing better to do. We going to put it on him now? Put the Harmony Orb. Even if you end up moving it immediately, get that Harmony Orb out there. Okay. You're drifting pretty far from your cover. Okay. So now are we going to Harmony and Discord and completely change this duel? There's your Harmony. There's your Discord. Works for me. Cool. Now tuck, lean back in on your cover. Lean back in on your cover. We don't want to get caught too far from it. You absolutely could have rediscorded there. You 100% could have rediscorded her, and it would have been super annoying to her. Even if your aim is terrible with your regular shots, even if you don't hit many regular shots, discording the right person and having very high Discord uptime and very high Harmony Orb uptime and very good Harmony Orb selection can carry you very far with Zen. Now, eventually that won't work because the flankers will figure out they can abuse you if your aim is bad, and your aim actually isn't a problem, but I'm just pointing out that, like, these orbs are really important.
There is chaos.
So, you should have known about this because this tracer should have been discorded, but you also should have been having a little tick in your brain going, wait a second, the Tracer exited this way. So either she's going to come back this way, or she's going this way, or she's going all the way around and is going to come back under you. Well, the most likely of those was this, and it just caught you unawares. And that can't happen. This is what I was talking about just a second ago in terms of you want to be positioned in a place where you can get the early warning that a flanker potentially went down a flank path. And you just did, and there wasn't really a thought, a check over there, anything. We're charging this. We're charging in the open for some reason, which isn't great.
There is chaos within you.
And we just heard Tracer blink and we didn't turn at all. And I get it. You aren't trained to turn on Tracer blinks yet, but turn on Tracer blinks. They're worth checking out.
I require aid.
Okay. You just did a reload here. That was questionable.
There is chaos within you.
You hit a shot. I don't know that she's not immediately dropping. So, like, I wanted to 180 right here, or at least turn to here right here. I didn't want to hit a reload. I had 7 shots left. That's plenty. Good. We found cover. Questionable. I'd have started charging again immediately. I'd have actually just kept charging that shot. Why are we drifting out? We can totally, from in here, where these guys can't shoot at us, influence the battle on the point. We can throw the Harmony Orb on the BAP, the Discord Orb on the Tracer, and those guys can't shoot at us. Works for me. Let's do that. Why am I pushing to point? No! No! Why am I in the open? Now you can push to point, because, hey, there's nothing better to do. You lose in a moment anyways, but you shouldn't have been before. Okay, but why did we not move the Harmony Orb as we were shooting? Like, these are my settings, not yours, but I really, really doubt that your sensitivity for Harmony Orb is so tight that you aren't getting the option to put the Harmony Orb on the Doomfist literally as you're shooting. Not adjusting your aim at all, completely aiming at the hog to be shooting at the hog, and you get free smash Harmony Orb button, and it goes on your Doomfist while doing this. Like, this is absolutely free. It doesn't delay you. You don't have to move your aim. It's not hard. You just press the button.
Embrace tranquility.
Yep, overtime makes me stop thinking, or close to overtime in this case. Well, you gotta relieve the pressure. Like, remember, each individual match doesn't matter. Like, each individual match doesn't matter, and it sort of is like... How do I put this? Pretend you're playing Ana and you're worried because Genjis are blading and you're not sleeping them very often. That's fine. I would just want you to try to hit the sleep. And it doesn't matter if you don't hit the sleep because the expected outcome isn't that you sleep Genji. The expected outcome is that Genji eliminates you with Blade or Nano Blade or whatever the case may be. But sometimes you're going to bail it out. So there's no pressure on you to hit that sleep because you're not actually expected to hit that sleep. You're expected to try to hit that sleep. Sometimes you're going to get it, and you're only going to get it sometimes if you go for it. But there's no real pressure because if you lose, that's what was supposed to happen there. Well, you just have to think of a lot of this stuff the same way, where it's like, okay, we're in a bad situation. We're in a 5v6. We're expected to lose this, which really means there's no pressure on me. Like, that doesn't mean I want to be absolutely stupid, but there's no pressure on me because we're expected to lose this. I almost have a little bit of an excuse to go, let me try something out. Let me go do this. Like, you should be thinking of these as sort of the less pressure, not more pressure when you go down someone. And in these overtime situations, again, you're expected to lose that fight. It's just you and Doomfist or just you and BAP versus the world. You are expected to lose that. And that doesn't mean go absolutely wild and do, I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna tunnel and boom, 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 right at headshots, walking at the Roadhog. That doesn't mean do that, but it does mean there's very little pressure on you, because if you do that, the only one who's gonna say anything is me. Like, no one on your team is really going to be upset, and you don't really need to be upset because, okay, if you did the right thing, instead of having a 3% chance of turning the fight, you had a 9% chance of turning the fight. Yes, I'm making up the numbers. But you didn't go from like a 20% chance of turning the fight to a 70% chance of turning the fight by doing the right thing. And even if you did, like the right thing is generally hard, and like this is what you had before, so you're kind of playing with house money at that point. Once you're behind, once someone on your team has been eliminated, you're kind of playing with house money, and you shouldn't really be feeling that much stress. And that's sort of the thing. Like, I don't want to harp on this too hard, but I think it's important for you because you are freezing a lot on Zen. You're not doing enough on Zen, and I've seen your Mercy, and obviously you're more comfortable on Mercy, so I expect you to be faster. I expect you to be more comfortable, but you can definitely play Overwatch faster than this. And a little bit of discomfort on Zen as you're learning his abilities, learning how he works would be normal, but I think you need to get out of your own head is really the biggest thing, because you being in your own head is freezing you, is paralyzing you, is slowing you down, whatever we want to call it. So, like, really, less stress. It's totally fine. The most important takeaway from this review should be when we're down, it's house money. It's really not stress. We're not expected to win. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to fight my way back in. But if we lose, it's really not a big deal. And each individual game isn't an important deal as long as you are improving on whatever you're trying to focus on improving on. If you lose an individual game, so what? If you play 5 games in a row and you lose 3 of them, so what? That doesn't matter as long as you feel like over the course of those 5 games you were getting some value or making some adjustments to, hey, now do I am I doing a better job of putting my harmony orb where it should go? Is it putting it on people as they go in, like divas, Genjis, Winstons, so that they have that to help them with the chip damage they take from their dive? Am I moving it off of people like Diva when they're safe and my Hanzo is also low health and I can cap him faster? Am I doing things like that? Am I managing my Harmony Orb well? Great. If you made progress on that over 5 games, it doesn't matter if you lost a bunch. Again, I'm really getting you out of your own head here, but it's really important. Like, don't let yourself be your own worst enemy here. Um, and let's let Harmony Orb be one of these things, because you can definitely do more with your Harmony Orb, and it's a big topic, Harmony Orb, but I want it out there. Like, I want your Harmony Orb simply out there if it's not. Like, when you were like, oh, my Sigma just left and I didn't Harmony Orb them before the match started. Well, why not? Why did you lose that Harmony Orb uptime? Harmony on a suboptimal target is better than no Harmony out at all. Even if the Harmony falls off before it does something, you didn't know that it wasn't going to do anything, so put it on there. You didn't know that they weren't going to peek you back and refresh their Harmony Orb. All that good stuff. So make sure that the Harmony Orb is out there. Make sure you understand that the Harmony Orb should be on people as they're going in, because it really does help them a lot when they're going in. It also helps Tracers, Genjis, Sombras, Divas, Winstons, Hammonds. They all love that Harmony Orb. Even Echoes and Pharaohs will get some nice value out of it when they're going in there. And also recognize that even though I included heroes like Winston and Diva and Hammond, that while they do love it for going in, because it helps keep them in armor thresholds a bit longer. It helps with that chip damage that you can preemptively expect them to take when they go in, because they will get shot at when they dive in, etc. In general, it's going to be more helpful on heroes like Tracer, where it's a bigger percentage of their health per second. So that's where you would like it to live in most situations more of the time if it's an option, but it doesn't have to live places. It should enable the person who's being aggressive when someone's being aggressive. Okay. That's kind of, and when your Doomfist is going in, again, like, it's free to move your Harmony Orb. If Harmony Orbs are not out and your Doomfist is going across your sight line, he should absolutely get the Harmony Orb. You need to get very comfortable with, I'm shooting, I just free Harmony Orb as someone crosses my sight line, or I shoot, I flick, I apply Harmony Orb, I flick back, maybe it delayed your shot a little bit, maybe your shots aren't as accurate as you like, but that's fine. That's totally fine. Okay. So that's Harmony Orb. That's a big topic. The next topic still is going to be your shots. Like, I'm not going to leave you alone on picking your shots, your shot selection here. We are not going to charge right clicks up in the open. We are not going to just be down here and not be charging a right click up when we expect to come up here and peak. Like, we got to try on this right click, left click stuff. I know right click, left click is a tough topic. I will go over this with GM's ends. I will go over this with Master's ends. It is a tough topic, but I need more shots, period, going out right now, even if they're, I need more shots going out, period, right now, and I need this to go away. We're not charging right clicks in the open. We're not charging right clicks in the open when we can see opponents. Like, this has to go away, And when we are peeking around aggressively, most of the time we would like to have right click pre-charged. We really would. We don't always delay to go, oh, I don't have one, so let me delay to go do it. But most of the time we should have naturally known that we were going to peek here and we should have pre-charged it. So that's two topics. It's really three topics, but it's two big topics from a gameplay standpoint, from a mechanical standpoint. Like, hey, Harmony Orb, a pretty big piece about it, and your right click versus left click stuff, and having him pre-charged and not charging him in the open. I'm not afraid to give you that right versus left click thing again, because I know we just went over that yesterday, so that's not a new topic. But I really think the most meaty thing about this is going to be like, reduce your stress when you're playing Zed. It's totally fine. If you lost your main tank, you lost your other support, so be it. You're not expected to win the fight, but play it out to the best of your ability. Try to make good decisions. That's all. Okay, let's take a look here. Um, So if you guys have questions, throw them up in chat now. And YS, if you have questions, if any of this doesn't make sense, or if you think, Temporal, you're making too big a deal out of the mentals, please let me know. I don't think I am making too big a deal out of the mentals. I think that's the most important thing for you right here. But please let me know if you have questions, concerns, all that. Other people, if you have questions, throw them up in chat now. If you're enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate that. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below. See what rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events we have going on, all that good stuff. Extra points for not going out as Mercy Lucio. That's true. I had a support duo in a tank game of mine play Mercy Lucio. Ugh. And the enemy just appeased us by trying to unsuccessfully play dive heroes into them. Okay. That was nice of them. Overtime makes you stop thinking, or close to overtime in this case. Location, 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 location. Yep. ML7 doing unranked to GM Zen only. It's a big deal. There's more to it than location, but location matters. I mean, ML7 can kind of say that because ML7 doesn't even think about where his orbs are going. He just puts them in useful places. He doesn't even think about, oh, I'm charging a right click net right now and a tracer showed up and let me drop 3 orbs into this tracer's head. Like that's how it works. But yes, location is very, very important. Overwatch is just real estate investing? Ah, yes, maybe it is. Maybe it is. Um Yeah, there was a photo. Maybe you guys pointed it out to me. Maybe I saw it somewhere else, but it was a house for sale, and it was like clearly Ilios. I mean, it was clearly the same design, etc. And it's like, is this well? This is Ilios well. Someone's selling Ilios well. It's was funny to see. But hey, maybe I'll dig it up and show you, but it'd probably take too long, so I probably won't do it this stream. Uh I mean, obviously these things are based on real places, so that makes sense. But it was just funny to see, like, whoa, that is so exactly it. Um, yeah, definitely lack confidence playing other sports. It's really easy to get tunnel vision when playing as Zen. He's so DPSy. Last time I played him, I was bronze, and I kind of had to DPS my way out of there, to be honest. Sure, but that doesn't mean you don't put your Harmony Orb on the right person to enable their aggression, put the Discord Orb on the opponents to paralyze them, to freeze them, to stop them from getting close to you, or to cause them, if they do try to brute force their way to get close to you, to get eliminated by you. Like, you do play DPSE, but orb management is still huge, as is location, 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 location. What I'm taking away from this, doing more is Zen, but still not enough, definitely. Finish the game with gold limbs, gold objective limbs, 7 and 1 respectively. Ouch. One coordinated push in 7 minutes. Yeah, no, this was a rough game, but we don't care about it being a rough game. We care about you playing better. But doesn't every loss mean that you're worth less as a person? Fighting Artstorm. Malky agrees that's how it works. Okay. Stop playing when you're down 50 SR for the day. Already lost that day. Well, you lost that day in an Overwatch climbing ladder sense. Hopefully, you didn't lose that day in an Overwatch improvement sense, and you didn't lose that day in general. You have other things you can do with the day. Writes down, don't charge right clicks in the open. Good. Hey, Temporal, how do you deal with a dive comp as Zen? Well, to reiterate what I already covered, you ideally are positioned in such a way that you see the tracer went that way. So you have warning that they're setting up a dive. Oh, so that's going to show up behind me in a few seconds. I'm aware of that. Oh, tracer went this way. That's going to show up in about 6 seconds when she finishes her loop through like this. So you have that warning. But what you do is you're set up there, and if you're set up like that, you can potentially take some shots at them to slow down their dive, to make their dive more challenging, and go, hey, I am delaying the time frame in which you can make your dive because I am punishing you or trying to punish you, trying to poke at you as you are setting up type thing. So that's hard. That's not great for you. That's one thing that you do. That's the first thing, and that's your positioning. The other things that you get into, or you figure out, well, what is the dive strategy? If you're playing dive and your team are playing dive and your team is looking to alpha dive and the other team is looking to alpha dive, and what I mean by alpha dive is front line goes after backline, front line goes after backline, as opposed to what gets called counter dive, which would be, hey, their frontline dives our backline, and our frontline dives their frontline on top of our backline. So that would be one option. If you're Zen, you could go, hey, we're playing a dive comp, they're playing a dive comp, they're set up, we poked them, we made it hard for them on the way in, the dive happens, and my team is going to come help. That's one option. But that doesn't have to be what happens. If your team is going, no, we're going to trade backlines, that's fine. Your job is to survive longer than the opposing Zen or Anna or whatever does. And you do that by going, hey, I tried to chip you, I tried to punish you on the way in a little bit. I'm totally willing to use my Discord orb to defend myself. If I can use it to enable my team, great, but I 100% will use it to defend myself, and I will set up in such a way where I've preferably got something to play with in terms of cover. She shows up here, and I don't really like that, so maybe I've already slid up here where I can use this, where I can go, okay, I don't like this. Maybe I do, in fact, drop. Maybe I've scheduled this where it's like, hey, I know what's going to happen, and I'm actively managing my Brig or my Lucio to tell them, hey, you're fighting Tracer, I'm pocketing you type thing. Like, those are things that you absolutely do. But yes, if you're playing hard dive versus hard dive, and your both teams are playing to dive backline, your job is literally to outlast the other team's backline. You're not supposed to be like, oh, I beat them every time. You're kind of expected to lose the matchup because they're going to come in with 3 to 4 divers and you're going to defend with just you and your other support, or sometimes you, your other support, and Diva, and then it becomes a, well, maybe we can beat you. But that's kind of how you're thinking about it. That said, it doesn't have to be dive v dive. If you're playing their dive and you're a bigger poke comp, well, it's even harder, leaning into, we won't let them get here. The dive will never happen, or the dive will be really bad. If they try to force a dive on you, well, they're missing a third of their health, half their health, bunch of their resources like blinks, like Winston Bubble, etc. And if you're Brawl, that gets a little tougher. If you're Brawl in their dive, what you end up doing is you try to play a bit with distance, you try to play a bit with angles, and as they get close to you, as they successfully start to close the distance, you then, as they successfully start to take the angles from you, at that point you have to collapse a little closer to your team. But you start playing against them as if you're a poke team, and you sort of collapse as they get closer so that your Brawl and the strong close range peel that Brawl has comes into play. And if they do their dive on you, let's say you're all down here, just as an example, and they dive onto you, etc., which you guys have gone tight, you guys would do the, okay, we Lucio speed back up to get the whole dive that came in from different directions, because a dive in theory is going to come in from like, hey, maybe we're on low ground because we're bad at the game, and the dive comes from here, and from here. Great. We, as blue team, are now going to kite backwards until this is in front of us again, and now our Rhine shield, maybe our Orisa shield, maybe our whatever is in front of us, and now Dive is trying to fight us in one direction without their mobility cooldowns, and we're a Brawl comp. So I know I maybe didn't give you like exactly how is Zen or how is Anna do I like 1v6 dive, and the answer is you don't. You make it harder on them by poking them on the way in, and then by knowing that they're coming, absolutely be willing to use your Discord orb to protect yourself and try to set up in such a way where you've got some sort of cover, something that you can play around to make the fight take longer so that even if you lose, your team had more time to beat their backline first. When is Zen an ideal pick? Um, Zen is fantastic in a lot of poke comps. Zen is fantastic in many forms of dive. Like, Zen is a good hero. Now, not Zen's best meta, not Zen's favorite meta recently, but he's still seeing some play with, like, ball comps and such. Zen is good anytime you can keep him alive, is really the answer to that. Like, Discord, even the nerfed version, is really, really powerful. And if you can keep Zen alive, if you can cover for the fact that, hey, our 200 HP hero with no mobility and pretty weak self-sustain, just regenerating shields, um, if you can protect your glass cannon without having to overinvest in protecting it, Zen's going to be great. Yeah. No, I don't think you did. I definitely felt like I was more confident and comfortable this game as Zen, but you were right. There was a bit of a deer in the headlights too often. Yep. Glad you recognize it. What is better during a duel with right click or left click with Zen? What is better during a duel? Well, it depends. So, like, are you fighting a Genji in the open and he pops deflect? Okay, I'm going to start charging a right click. Am I fighting a Genji in the open and he hasn't popped deflect yet? Well, I'm definitely not going to start charging a right click because that would be a situation where once I've charged enough of my right click to be dangerous, he can outlast me by popping deflect. So I'm definitely not going to do that. Um, Am I fighting a tracer who's, got blinks left? Well, I mostly want to be using left clicks. On the other hand, if I'm fighting her around a corner, like say she jumped me from this direction and I was contributing to the team fight from here, I might fight her with my left clicks and then peel around here and start charging a right click if she had like blinked out and created a little distance, because now she's like, oh shoot, I've got to follow you, and she's going to follow into preferably at least a 3 orb. If I can get at least a 3 orb, I'm going to consider charging it. Really, when you charge in general, you're looking for 4 to 5 orbs. When you're dueling, and specifically when you're dueling tracers, things can be a little different. So, like, did I create downtime either through you did something like use a Zarya bubble, you did something like pop deflect, or I did something like change the angle, close an angle so that you're not on me, and it's going to take you a little bit to get around. Try not to focus on my SR, but being that I reached top of the ladder in both Halo 5 and Gears of War, it bugs me Overwatch. I've been in Plat forever. I hear you. I hear you. Overwatch is very competitive and a very advanced game, though. Like, don't beat up on yourself too hard here. And you're in Plat. That's already, you're above the 50% mark. Like, you are. I think people don't talk about the mental stuff enough. I think that holds people back more often than it gets talked about. I think that's true. Be confident, Plat Zen. Maybe that's this video title. Wait, where was that picture of Well? I want to see it. I'll see if I can dig it up. This is what my brain tells me with every loss. Okay. I can look at this as improvement since this was better than my Zen Blizzard World gameplay. Yep. Fair enough. Right. The SR loss isn't really relevant. We're looking to get better and the SR will come. We're looking to invest in getting better and the SR will come. When you get done, you retreat and you towards your team. Don't just hold S and end up 5 miles from your team. Okay. Yeah, you've got this general area but not quite tucked away correctly thing going on. Dave says, I agree, Temporal. Try to focus on improving now and not just winning. If you focus on just winning, you tilt when you lose, make more mistakes, and end up losing more games. Easier said than done. It is easier said than done. Would it also be considered a counter dive if they dive your backline and you go, okay, we're just going to leave our backline to fight you and just dive your backline. See, unfortunately, that terminology didn't catch on. So I do not control all of Overwatch language. I do control some Overwatch language. Protect the McCree was a comp name that I invented, and casters did go on to use it, and it had a bit of a thing. It didn't hard stick as meta, so it kind of got forgotten about, but Protect the McCree was a comp name that I named, and it stuck. But I don't control all of Overwatch language. It's a community thing, and what sticks, what your players know, you end up using rather than trying to reinvent the wheel. We don't reinvent the wheel for our own egos to be like, well, this is a better definition. This is a better way it should be done, and it should be called, this should be counter dive versus this should be reverse dive versus this should be. What we ended up with was sort of like dive defines both a comp as well as a general playstyle, but a specific dive into their backline. I call it alpha dive, this dive into their backline thing, because I needed something to differentiate it. And that I will just be like, okay, this is what I'm doing, and that makes sense to players, other coaches, etc. Counter dive, in my mind, we could have had a reverse dive could have made sense. You could have had it be like that, where it's like, hey, or peel dive. What I did is I called it peel dive. I've heard people call it reverse dive. I like to call it peel dive, where it's like, okay, your strategy is going to be an alpha dive. Perhaps it's going to be a peel dive to go, hey, we're going to peel their front line. We're going to jump back on their front line and do it. Because to me, I would like to reserve the words counter dive for they dive us and we dive their back line right back. It's really just a slower alpha dive than theirs, a later alpha dive than theirs, but I would like to have that available as terminology. Unfortunately, it got socialized in such a way that counter dive does refer to what I would have liked to call peel dive, which is diving your own backline. Counter dive does not refer to they dove our backline, we're diving their backline. If you wanted to call that, you just go dive Zen or trade backlines or something mid-match. Is alpha dive the same as hard dive? I've heard both before, so I'm just not sure what the difference is there. Oof, too bad I'm playing right now. Got to rewatch this. Blue, I wonder what Blue's thoughts on that would be in terms of dive calls. Okay, so is alpha dive the same as hard dive? Yeah, mostly yes. Sometimes when I use hard dive, I'm referring to the difference between a hard dive and a soft dive, where a soft dive can be like, there's a Winston here defending, or there's a Genji here defending, or a Hanzo here defending, and maybe you do a dive that you're not actually intending to eliminate the Winston, the Hanzo, whatever with. You're actually doing this just to push them back, to make them drop, to make them leave. You did a dive, but it was a soft dive that was actually to set up your staging for the future dive that's going to be a hard dive where you actually try to eliminate their Zen, their Ana, their Soldier, whatever the case may be. So a soft dive is generally like a 4 positioning or a somewhat non-committal dive. Like the first dive in most double bubbles is a soft dive where the monkey is going in and trying to get some energy, trying to do a little work, trying to charge some ults, trying to maybe drive someone back, but he's very sure that he can get out. It's not a, oh, I dove in the middle. Oh, shoot, I'm going to get blown up. It's a, I dove, I pushed the other thing back. I maybe took some damage. And even if I didn't push them back, I can drop and I'm not in much trouble. So hard dive is usually referring to the difference between a soft dive versus a real dive. But yes, you could somewhat interchangeably use hard and alpha dive and people would understand what you meant. Zen is ideal in Goatsmere. You might be able to keep him alive with a brawl comp, but Lucio's still going to be preferable, right? Well, they're fighting over different positions. Lucio and Zen can be run together, but I'm not like yeah, like Lucio and Zen generally get run together if they're going to get run. Like they occupy different positions in a team. Like then that's not a hard ironclad rule. Could you run Bap Zen? Yeah, that's a theoretical thing that you could do. But yes, Lucio tends to be worth more in that situation. On the other hand, if I had goats, would I want to drop Lucio for Bap? No, I would not. Yeah. Does Zen right-clicking do more damage if you continue holding it after you've charged 5 orbs? No. It's exactly why we reinvent the wheel. Also, I have a ton of wheels. I have a ton of wheels if you want one. 3 takeaways I wrote down in order of importance. Be confident. Yeah, but I would tie be confident to it's fine. Like, you're not expected to hard carry fights where you've already been down one. Like, it's not just be confident. Yes, that's what we would like you to be, but I can't just tell you to be confident and magically you're confident. I have to relieve some of the sources of your anxiety, and we can see that some of the source of your anxiety is, oh, these fights that I just know we're going to lose, and that's what we want to get at, where it's just kind of like, it's okay. There's no stress in those fights that you're very likely to lose. Just play the best you can, no stress. Uh, don't charge right clicks in open. Yeah, left and right click at appropriate times. As long as you understand what appropriate times means, yes. So we don't charge right clicks in the open. We left click if we're shooting at someone and we don't have cover and they're not paying attention to us, fantastic. If we're under a lot of pressure, we're probably going to go bind cover ourselves and charge a right click. And then I talked a fair bit about Harmony Orb, which you didn't really get into here. So that would be the other thing that I probably didn't make it to your notes, which is, hey, being fast on moving around that Harmony Orb as appropriate is good. Remember, you want to enable people that want to go in. It's generally better on squishies than on bigger tank heroes, but it's also better on heroes that want to go in than on heroes that are going to hang out. So it can absolutely go on a Winston, a Ball, a Diva that's going to challenge high ground, something like that, but it's even better on like a Tracer if that's an option. And you do want it on your Winston as they're going in, your Diva as they're going in, because you expect them to take damage and you're sort of like pre-healing them there. This may be a question from a different video, for a different video, but does regression exist in improving in Overwatch? Or if you still struggle after a while, are there just new issues that pop up? Regression can happen. Sure, regression can happen. If you don't play Overwatch for a while, your aim will absolutely get worse. Some stuff is going to come back like riding a bicycle, but also what you'll observe as a phenomenon is if you stop playing for a while, you get rusty. Your mechanics, because aim unfortunately is a mechanic that falls off meaningfully if you don't use it for a while, will get worse. And the rest of the ladder will keep improving. Because remember, a specific point, like a 2800 on the ladder, for example, doesn't represent you are this good. It represents you are, here on a distribution curve. And if the people on the distribution curve get better, you're not going to be here anymore with those same skills. You might be over here. Okay. How do you stay confident during games? I find I start underperforming, missing easy shots, losing duels, etc. My confidence takes a hit and I can't mentally reset before the game ends. Okay, good question. So it's tough, but if you really start, like, say you're playing Ana again, we'll use that as an example because you're talking about missing easy shots, losing duels. That's the thing that happens to Ana. Let's say that you're playing Ana and you miss like 3 shots in a row on that Genji who's standing right there waiting to be healed. Just pause for a moment. Like, stop and let it be fine. Literally just mentally stop for like half a second. If you need to do a full second, that's fine, but it's a skill. Like, pausing like that is a skill. In Overwatch, our brains are going a million miles a minute because there's so many things going on all the time. And if you just stop, don't even try to aim, don't even like do that. Just stop and try to calm yourself down for half a second and then go ahead and hit your shot. It's fine. Even if you're in a duel with someone, pausing for like half a second, yes, at high levels, half a second of you not moving, you not shooting at someone, absolutely. A Tracer will have you 3/4 deleted. That's a problem. But you know what? It's still probably worth doing. Like, if you're just really struggling, maybe not. Maybe not in the games where Tracers can regularly do that. But for most players, it's gonna be worth doing. Even when it feels like all the pressure's on, like you're in a duel, or like I've missed 3 shots and this Genji is judging, or anything like that, like, pause, even if it's for half a second, and go, okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and hit my shot. and then go hit your shot. And that's a skill. That's a skill in itself that you have to be able to build up to sort of be able to mentally reset. Like, how quickly can you do it? How reliably can you do it? And you don't get faster at doing it by rushing it, by being like, well, I have to be able to do this in half a second. But try that. I can't guarantee you it'll work for you, but try that. Yeah, that's a good question. If I like get picked first fight or something, it'll sometimes mess me up for the rest of the round. Yeah, but you're in a lobby with 5 random people that you don't care about. Like, why do you care about them? You're facing like social anxiety there of like, oh, I need to prove myself because I did poorly. Who cares? They're 5 players. You might see 1 or 2 of them again for another game at some point, but really, who cares? Your self-worth is not at all impacted by the fact that they saw you have a bad game, and it might not even be a bad game. It probably wouldn't be a bad game if you just took the attitude of, who cares? You're mostly not going to see these guys again. And I bet it doesn't bother you as much when you're playing with your friends, when you're playing with people you know, when you're playing on an organized team. I bet when you make a mistake, it might still impact you some, but I bet it doesn't impact you as much. And if that's the case, why is that the case? Well, it's because you're trying to impress randoms that you'll probably never see again. That does make a ton of sense. Like, again, it's a mental thing, and it becomes a give yourself a second to just sort of mentally reset and go, it's fine. The past is the past. We're gonna focus on the future now. We're not gonna try to make up for the past. We're just gonna play the game. We're just gonna keep working on what we're trying to work on. Oh, I got sniped by the Widow. That was really embarrassing, and I shouldn't have been standing there. It's a good thing I'm not working on not getting sniped by Widows. It's a good thing I'm actually working on my Doomfist rollout, specifically using my punch to slide across things. Like, yeah. Take a smoke break. Genji can get himself a health pack. Ah. Walk out of spawn, get trapped by junk, and then headshot by Widow. That'll do it. I just try to remind myself it's a game, and at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. That's also something people play for. Like, you will see players, and they'll talk about this sometimes, where it's like they make a little bit of a risky move, as like a defending Roadhog, for example, will make a little bit of a riskier move than is justifiable to try to get a pick on the attacking team here right at the beginning of the match, because if they get it, the payoff will potentially be higher in the mental damage that it'll do to that player and potentially to that team there of, oh no, we don't want to wait all this time before we're allowed to push. We instantly had that done. We all just got here. We want to go anyways. Plus, oh my goodness, I just got hooked by that hog and that terrible positioning, and like, oh, how did I let that happen? And I should have known that was coming. Like, you will see players talk about that. And if you understand that that's the thing that players are going for, it's like, but okay, you got me. You got me with something kind of stupid. Whatever. Like, you're not going to let it get to you if you realize that that's what they're trying to do. It's like when you recognize when someone's trying to troll you in chat or something, and it's like, what? Oh, well, you're just trying to rile me up. Why would I care? I see there's so much going on, it feels like I don't have a chance, but I'll keep that in mind. Right, and there is a lot going on. So you're going to skip out on a few decisions. If you pause for half a second, you're going to miss out on a few decisions. And the world will keep spinning and the game will keep going, but you'll have hopefully been able to regather yourself a little bit. Not keeping up 100% with the pace in most situations isn't going to, even though it feels like it, isn't going to like instantly lose you the game. And it's worth it to get some of your mental back to keep going there. Temporal, you should get Dr. K from Healthy Gamer GG on. He does like psychology stuff for gamers. It'd be a cool conversation. Okay, I can see that. Will you review recent Owl games, or you already did those? Yeah, I'll review recent Owl games. I'll do some more Owl game stuff. I'll do some more Owl game stuff, and I'll do some server pugs grim stuff. Both of those things are things that I need to do more of for you guys. Okay. I think that's going to do it for this one. If you guys have any questions, you can throw them up in chat now, but I think we are probably good to go there. Thanks, guys. Temporal out.